These speaker grills are like an aluminum alloy. Look like they're laser cut, really nice, high quality. They don't really stand out very much. They kind of blend in, but when you actually touch them and feel them, really high quality feeling. Okay, sitting in the driver's seat, checking it out. Super comfortable seats. I want seats like this in my car. This is great. The interior has a lot of features, but it's kind of surprisingly simple. It doesn't look like it's overcomplicated, even though there's a lot of features once you start digging into it. Okay, so I'm 6 feet tall. I'm gonna go ahead and put the seat all the way back. Wow, all the way down. So now, I feel like a toddler now because my feet, this will be way too far back for me to drive safely anyway. But just to give you an idea of the legroom and everything here, just really nice. And then the steering wheel, leather wrapped steering wheel, but you notice it's a two-tone, black on the outside and that tan on the inside. Really makes it distinct looking. It's not something you see in a lot of vehicles. And it's a little bit soft to the touch, but mostly has a hard touch surface. I mean, it's like a leather wrap, but it's not cushy soft. Here on the left side is your cruise control, so it's an adaptive cruise control system to where once you turn it on and you're driving at a certain speed, you can set the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you here, and you can change your speed. Resume is at the top. On the right side, volume for your radio, change to the tracks or the radio stations here, voice recognition system, and then this button gives you some more information on the screen. Windshield wiper controls are here on the right side. Turn signals here on the left. Now it also has your headlight controls. So it has off, parking, headlights on, automatic, and then automatic headlights. You can toggle that on or off. To turn your front fog lights on, you can push that. To rear fog lights, you push this one. Now the front fog lights are there to help you see better. The rear fog light is basically a brighter light that's on the back of the vehicle to help other people see you better in the fog. Okay, so the gauges is basically a screen. It has that traditional style round dial look with the digital speedometer in the center and a simulated dial there for your speedometer. RPMs are there on the left side, shows what gear you're in, distance to empty, that kind of thing, as well as a fuel gauge there on the right side. There in the center is the information screen. So right now it has the navigation showing. It has the outside temperature, digital clock, some of your safety features showed there at the top. So it gives you that first-person view on the navigation map here, even if you have a much further out distance or a different position on the main screen. So that way you can keep it focused on your destination as you're going, even if you're trying to get your bearings on this main screen. And this screen is really nice. So it has this vertical layout instead of a horizontal layout. Part of this is, one of the benefits of this particular layout is you get to see more of the road while you have your navigation up. But just overall, it's fairly easy to use once you know the basic principles. Gotta mention these vents. These vents are so nice, easy to use. They just look fantastic. A lot of gloss black around the screen as well, kind of accenting it, I guess. Okay, so this button right here, this just takes you back to the home screen, or takes you back. So you can see it has these kind of main places to go, and these will change depending on where you're at. So like say your radio, you can see what's playing, your presets here, and of course you could change the audio source. Let's go ahead and turn that down. Change to AM, FM. I'm going to push that to go back. And this is our map. But just, these are kind of shortcuts. The main features are to the right and to the left of that home screen. So to the right, this is where you'll find your AM, FM, satellite radio, USB, iPod, different audio sources here, your Bluetooth. You can also go into your sound experience and adjust that. Go back out of that. And you notice it changes, depending on what I was just doing, it changes this screen right here. Okay, so messages, car status, driver performance, we can see the information there. Travel link, we could download more apps. Also has Apple CarPlay and Android Auto capability. You will have to plug in your device and it'll pop up there. To the left, so there's just 3 screens: middle, right, middle, left. To the left, this is features that your vehicle has, safety features, different things. So you can have the sport mode as far as your stability control, you can turn that on. Lane keeping aid, this will kind of nudge the steering wheel, keep you from going out of your lane. Park assist, this will actually turn the steering wheel, help you park the vehicle. Cross traffic alert, so that's you're backing out of a parking spot. It'll let you know if there's a vehicle coming from either way. And it has the indicators on the side mirrors. Also distance alert, this will let you know like, hey, you're running up on somebody pretty fast, you might want to slow down. And the stop start feature, now driving it seems like I can turn that off and it just stays off. I turn the vehicle off and turn it back on, it was still off, so that's good. So the people that don't like that feature can leave it off. Headrest folds, this actually folds the back seat headrest, so if you need more visibility, you can do that. You can adjust your heads-up display here, and the camera system is fantastic. We'll get to that real fast. I loved it that. So we can turn on or off the heads-up display. The blind spot monitor we can turn off. It also has the ability, using a camera system, to read road signs, so that way it'll show up, hey, this is the speedometer, that kind of thing. You can turn off the cruise control. Adjust the passenger seat from the driver's side. So you turn that on, I can start moving around and adjusting the passenger seat just like I have control over my seat. That's pretty cool. Also, you can turn off the cornering lamps if you'd like to, and also the active bending lights. Just slight bend to go in the direction that you're steering. You can turn that feature off. Wiper service position, this will pull them up in a position where you can change the windshield wipers. And the collision avoiding assistance, this will actually help you steer around a vehicle. It's pretty advanced, and I don't know how it works, but that's basically what it's supposed to do. So let's go back to this camera. So right now, we're not in reverse or anything, but this shows directly behind the vehicle right now. And it has active guidelines, so as I turn the steering wheel, the lines will move. We can turn those off if we want to, but there they are. The rear cross traffic alert, we can turn that feature off as well. But you notice I'm not in reverse, so I can look at the camera if I want to look back there. Also, I can zoom in and see directly behind the vehicle. Also, there's a 360 view, so this is fantastic. This is my favorite part. Push that, you can see all the way around the vehicle. Left side, front, side, everywhere, all around. It's like a view from the top down. As you get close to things, they're going to kind of look distorted. Right now we're next to these cars, but at least you know they're there. If we want to look at the front view, we just tap the front, and now we can see what's in front of the vehicle. Go back to the 360. If we want to see what's over there, we can see over there. But also, look right here. As I turn the steering wheel, you see that tire popping out. I don't know if you can see that. So as I get close to a curb, I can keep an eye on that wheel and get it right where I want it. And that's the purpose of seeing the side shots like that. Same thing on the left side. That front tire, I can really focus on that. And then of course the back. So this is a really advanced parking aid. As far as visually seeing around your vehicle, I think it's great. Alright. So that's, you can always access that there, or when you put it in reverse, it will also pop up the camera as well. So the climate control is also on the screen. You just push that, adjust the temperature, change the temperature whatever I want. I can also, same thing on the passenger, And the fan speed and all that, I can adjust it here by pushing that center button. Front and rear defrosters recirculate the air. There's the fan speed where I want the air to blow, stuff like that. And turn the fan down a little bit. Also have those little seats right here. Push that. On the driver's side, you have the heated seat and then the heated steering wheel. On the passenger side, it's just the heated seat. It's a 3-stage. Alright, so that's kind of a quick rundown, but also you have this pull down up here. And you have a full owner's manual and settings here. So the owner's manual, the best thing about it is it's searchable. So you don't have to flip through it looking for something. Once it loads up, if there's a particular thing that you want to know about, you can just search it right here. Hit the search, or you can browse through exterior, interior, narrow it down. But I really like that, having to be able to search in a manual. And then you got the settings here as well, and you can do the sound settings, you can pair phones, all that stuff here. You also have a user profile, so you can set up 3 different profiles, and it also depends on which key you have. You can select a particular guest. So like when you get in a vehicle, you can have your profile set up so your seat is just the way you want it and all that stuff, and your favorites on your radio station, all that stuff. So when somebody else drives your car and they mess up your seat, it seems like it's really hard to get it back to that original position. But anyways, having the profiles really helps out with that particular situation. Okay, so down here is a physical volume knob, so you don't have to rely on the one on the steering wheel. Front and rear defrosters, change through the tracks, play and pause. Over here, this little slot is simply a sensor for the temperature sensor for your system, and then this is just not a button or anything. Okay, so here's your shifter. So the shifter, of course, when you put it in reverse, pops up the camera system, and then you can go through there and do whatever you want, like we saw. Neutral, drive, and then you can put it in this manual mode to where you can change to the gears manually like a ratchet shifter. Little storage pocket here, and when I say little, it's really small. I guess put some change or whatever. And it's rubbery on the bottom. And this is that same wood that you find on the dash. It's that driftwood, open pore, really nice feeling, high quality. This slides back, and then you have some cup holders, another storage spot, 12-volt power supply. In here is where you find the USB and auxiliary, or USB charger and USB input. Then you have a storage compartment there. This armrest is very soft to the touch. It doesn't bottom out easy. And it's kind of small, so I might share it with a passenger, might not, but it feels really nice. And then there's your climate control back here. Right now it's locked out, but the rear climate controls can also be controlled here. So in our climate screen, we got from pushing here, it says main climate, then it says rear climate. We push second row climate, and we can adjust it here with the temperatures and the fan speed. Or we can turn it off. Parking climate. So you can precondition the vehicle at a timer. So basically at a certain time, it'll precondition the vehicle. Let's say you go to work and you usually leave at 8 o'clock. Well, at 5 minutes to 8 or whatever, and go and warm up or cool down the vehicle and get it preconditioned for you. That's awesome. That's better than a remote start. So remember the start button here. This is also to turn off the vehicle, and you do the same thing to turn off the vehicle. Now the vehicle's off. Turn it again to restart it. And then this is your drive mode. Also, it shows you what seatbelts are buckled. It also shows you what doors are open, if the trunks or the hood's open as well in that center position. So when I open this door, it shows the door open and the seatbelt unbuckled. Then it goes away when it's not used. But yeah, that's the start button. It's just basically you just turn it and, you know, to turn it off as well. Then you have your drive modes and brake hold and electronic parking brake. So the brake hold is to keep the vehicle from rolling forward while you're at a stop sign. It just holds the brake for you basically and releases it when you push the accelerator. And then your electronic parking brake, you can engage it by pulling it up, release it by pushing it down as well as while you're holding the brakes. And this little wheel right here, when you just roll it, nothing happens. You push it in and it pops up here. And then you can roll it to eco, comfort, or dynamic. So when you put it in eco, it changes the screen up here. So comfort has the RPMs. Eco just gives you an eco indicator. Comfort and dynamic look about the same as far as the gauges, but it does say dynamic there on the what gear you're in. Rear view mirror is fantastic. It's like an edgeless type rear view mirror. It has a digital compass in it, auto dimming, just looks really nice. It has the HomeLink garage door opener controls integrated in the bottom. You also have the ability to get roadside assistance by pushing these buttons. And then you have some tap lights here, have them turn on and off with the doors, or have them all on. This is for your sunroof, which they're calling a panoramics, but not quite that big in my opinion. It has a little clip here, has a mirror and light. Okay, so here's a sunroof, and it has a shade that blocks most of the light, but not all. We go ahead and move that back. Like so. And I accidentally tilted it up at the same time. We can go ahead and move this back while we're at it. That's as far back as it goes. So they call it a panoramic sunroof, but it's just a little bit extra on the sunroof there. I wouldn't call it a double necessarily. And close that up. Okay, so let's look at the visibility in the back. So I have one headrest up, one headrest down, so you can see how that interferes. But I mean, you see the pillars are quite big. But overall, I think the visibility is pretty good. Let's go ahead and fold the headrest using the button. So there, just folds the other one down. That's better. But of course, you know, if you have backseat drivers or passengers back there, then you'll need to have the headrest up. So going over this rough road here, feels really solid, but not bouncy. Doesn't feel, here we go. Now of course we're going lower speeds and try to hit every bump on the road. Even though you could feel the bumps, they're cushioned. They're not really annoying feeling. That was one of my concerns, is that the leaf spring in the back would be too stiff and that it would just not get just feel like a truck. I have like wheel hop or something, but feels fine. It's really good. It has good stability as well. So that might be where the leaf springs come in with the stability, because it's just one spring. It's just one leaf back there, but then you have the independent, you know, suspension in the back and the front. And the power, since this one has the turbocharged engine, doesn't have the supercharged, does have a turbocharged. It does have some really good. Now the engine just cut off and turned back on. It was very imperceptible. I mean, I could tell just briefly, but it happened earlier and I didn't even notice. And that's part of the stop-start feature. Alright, let's do a U-turn. Check out the, real easy to turn the steering wheel. There's no grabbing of the tires when I turn real sharp. Really nice. Now I noticed earlier it has the blind spot indicators. They were illuminating when there's people in the blind spot. So here we are. This 8-speed is really nice. Really can pin you in your seat when you really need to get going, accelerate rapidly. It does have to downshift, and then once it gets in that lower gear, then you're good. So here we are on Market Street, Wilmington. Well, alright, the engine's off. So I can still turn the steering wheel since it's electrically powered. Waiting for the traffic to clear up a little bit. Yeah, I guess I'll go ahead and floor it. Man, I can merge in traffic really quick. It doesn't feel like a 4-cylinder. I mean, it feels like you can hear it. You can tell it's a 4-cylinder. But as far as, driving, you don't feel like you're lacking in power. And it's not the type of vehicle that you're going to be hot rodding anyway. So it has that capability of hot rodding a little bit without, you don't really need that. Sometimes you do, I guess. Sometimes you really need to get out there in traffic, and so this is able to do it. Very impressed. Alright, engine's off now. So this is what worries me about engines turning off and stuff. I'm like right here waiting for traffic. So let's see how much of this is gonna, see that? I probably could have made that turn, but I had to, as soon as I let my foot off the brake, the engine's still not on. I had to like wait for the engine to run before I push the accelerator, and now I can't make it. So I probably need to go ahead and just pull up to that light, because that dang engine turning off is worrisome. Okay, so the light's gonna stop traffic for me, so that's good. So here we go. All right. Now the slow speed in the parking lot. That's another thing that's real easy. Like my vehicle, the steering is a lot stronger than this one, or it's a lot harder to turn. This one's much more smooth. So I can turn that steering wheel with just the tips of my fingers. Now it's engine turned off. Now it's back on. Yeah, that's gonna take some. That's one of those features that takes some getting used to. Engine turning off and on, and got to figure out where to turn that off. There's no obvious button to push to turn that off. So here I stopped, okay? So I'm parked. I'm in park. And the engine's off. So if I push the accelerator, then starts up, starts revving, and stays running. So let's go. So that's the, let's go the other way. I went the wrong way. Stop start. All right, so that's off. So now let's go ahead and turn it off. Okay, it's still off. So even with the, maybe I have to get out, and I'm not sure, but it seems like it stays off instead of having to turn it on each time. That would be nice. If that's the case, that would be real nice. All right, so there you have it. Brand new S60. Really excited about this vehicle. It drives great. Plenty of power. Luxurious feeling. Just really impressed. So thank you for watching. Thank you to Parkway Volvo here in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I'll see you guys next time.